Babe, stop it!
What? Okay, so as many of you know, I'm very big on recovery. Now, I've tried out many things, okay? And I've got a few pieces of equipment I'm going to show you here today. So, number one is just a normal foam roller, okay? Number two is kind of like I don't know, I guess a lacrosse ball type thing in a handle. The next is a body glove, I believe it's called. And the final one is a massage ball by the company RubBall, okay? Alright, so one of the biggest things I use kind of massage before are my shins. When I run, when I do too much kind of parkour and impact, I do get kind of inflamed around the shin, around the calf area. Now, what I was using, like I said, was this. It's quite kind of, like I said, practical. You roll it down. But what I found is it is quite tough to get into the little parts. This one's a bit easier, but you do give up a bit of that effectiveness simply because you can't get as deep, you can't apply as much pressure. Now, I use this a bit. I had, for quite a few days now, I've had quite a bit of pain just in the back of my calf here, like just down by the Achilles. All I literally did was turn this on, put it on maybe the second setting, and I literally rolled it up and down just while pressing nice and hard with it. And I'm not even kidding, I haven't had a massage like this before, this effectiveness in such a short period of time. You literally just press it down, allow it to do its thing, and it just works really amazing. I'm not gonna lie, like it's the added benefit of being a hard ball you can literally just push in and massage your muscles with that intense vibration. It just works. So starting off with the regular foam roller, I've got this one here, lovely kind of bumps on there, really gets deep into the muscle now. As you may know, very common piece of equipment. Now, it gets into the muscles, you can roll them out, it's really good, really kind of versatile. However, my main concern when getting this was its kind of practicality. It's amazing for in the gym or in a home studio, but you can't really bring it around places with you, and it can be very awkward sometimes to get into the position to massage the kind of muscles you want to massage, right? So on a kind of effectiveness scale for the massage, I'm definitely going to give this a good 7 out of 10. You can massage your muscles really well with this. It's a really good piece of kit. However, when it comes to the kind of practicality of it, I'm going to drop it down to around a 5. Right? Simply because you chuck this in your bag, it's taking up a lot of room. So very simply, because of the practicality of the foam roller, I went and bought myself one of these, okay? So essentially, it's a ball in a handle, right? Very similar to a lacrosse ball, and you can literally just roll it over your muscles as so. It's very useful. Chuck it in your pocket, chuck it in a bag, you can just take it anywhere with you. Amazing for parkour and movement practice because how kind of useful and kind of practical it is. So on the effectiveness scale, it's a little bit lower than the foam roller simply because you're rolling out the muscle. It's a lot of manual labor. You're rolling, you're rolling, you're rolling. It's not as deep or as effective as the foam roller. You need to use a lot more time to get an effective kind of massage with this. So I'll give it maybe a 5 on the effectiveness scale, but practicality wise, I'm gonna have to bump it up to maybe a 7 because you can just chuck it in your pocket and you're sweet, you're sorted. It's so small and versatile. If only it was a little bit more effective. Next is the body glove. I'm assuming that's the company name, the body glove. Now it's a silicone kind of plasticky glove. You put your hand in the back here and it's got these like little metal kind of marble rollers in a grip. And the reason I bought this is because this was a little bit odd to try and get in all the small places. When you try and rub, for example, your tibialis with this, it's quite difficult. So specific for like the lower legs, I bought this and kind of for the forearms. And it is good for those specific muscles, but you cannot really get a good massage with this when it comes to the major muscle groups. I'm talking your quads, the pecs, some big muscles. You can't really get deep enough because, as you can see on the side here, you get deep enough in and you just start rubbing yourself with these, you only really get a small kind of depth here. So the effectiveness on the small muscles is really great, it is. But when it comes to the bigger muscle groups, it's just not as effective as a foam roller or this little guy. So on the effectiveness, I'll probably have to give this a 4, and practicality, again, maybe a 6. Simply because, yeah, it's not as practical. It's a lot of manual labor, more manual labor than this. Now, finally, we're talking about the RubBall, okay? Got sent this to give a go. It is, in fact, the world's most powerful vibrating massage ball. Now, I was a little bit skeptical when I first got it. I thought, okay, it's gonna be decent, but I'm not expecting anything magical here. Now, kind of effectiveness, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to give an 8 or a 9, I think. It's definitely way more effective than a foam roller, okay? Simply because you've got the added benefit of it being round, so you can get into all the small places. Like when you're trying to roll out your glute or your hamstring or your leg, with a foam roller, your leg goes on top of it, right? It can't really curve inwards, so you do get a limited effectiveness, which is why this is definitely higher in the effectiveness kind of rating there, because it's rounded. You can get more specific kind of muscle groups massaged a lot deeper and a lot more effectively. And for the practicality, again, I'm gonna have to give it maybe a 7. It's not as practical as this, simply because it's a bit bigger, but you can chuck it in your bag and it'll be completely fine. But that being said, the effectiveness with that kind of practicality just makes it so effective. I mean, I'll show you some kind of demos of using it, but it surprised me, to be fair. Now, when it comes to massaging large muscles like the quads, for example, obviously with a kind of foam roller, you're kind of getting down in this position, and it feels good, like it does. You know, you're massaging a large quad. Like I said, the only issue is because it is a flat position. When you place your kind of muscle on, only the upper part of the muscle can really be massaged deeper. You then have to find the right angle. But to be honest, when you get something like this, which is a ball when it's rounded, you can get very specific with it. For example, I'm just going to place it on the first setting, because if I place it too high, the whole house shakes because it's a hollow floor. So, let's place it on that first setting. So, placing this down here, it just allows for a much deeper massage, and with the vibration too, it's something else. Like I was saying, like, my recovery is going to be on another level with this, I think. Like, again, if I was to rate this effectiveness, kind of how effective the massage is, it's probably looking at around a 6 or a 7, but trying them back to back, with this you're literally talking an 8 or a 9. The only thing better than this, I imagine, would be a masseuse. For self-therapy, I haven't tried anything better, to be fair. That's just the first setting. So it does in fact come with a bit of an instruction manual in which it shows you some of the ways it can be used here. Pretty helpful, pretty useful, but yeah, all in all, I'm going to continue taking my ice baths because they're just, you know, invaluable, but this is going to be my primary use for kind of self-massage. And no doubt I'm going to take it into the gym when they're open again and use it with my clients, because I'm always looking for a way to increase recovery, to increase the quality that I not only use with myself but with my clients too. So very invaluable, I think, to the next level of my recovery and my clients' recovery.